Mike Arnold here, co-founder, path trading partners, along with Bob Iacchino. Ecam did an update, but I guess I'm still get disappeared. Have to figure out what is going on. How is everyone doing? Did you survive the markets today? Hope everyone did and had at least a safe day, if not productive, if you don't short and then there's a little rally at the end. So, it was an interesting day, but nice and volatile. If you don't like volatility, then this wasn't probably a fun day for you, but at least you can consider subscribing, ringing the bell, and clicking on that ever so popular like button. So we got the S&P here, S&P, S&P, S&P. Here we go. Look, I even remembered to put up my little S&P symbol tag. I just get so carried away with the analysis that I forget to do things sometimes. So, down day spiking below our trend line, but closing back above it, coming down here to the 87.5% harmonic, just a little below that, then moving back up. I am definitely watching for a bottom being put in right here, and I'll elaborate why. We have this, you can see here, double bottom right near that 87.5% harmonic on the 1 hour. That was triggered right at the close, on the closing bar. So, watching for, look at that, the 62.5 is 45.86. The first target is 45.89, so that's my first target area. Then we have the second target coming in roughly at 4,600, 45.99 it looks like, and then 46.09 is the last target. So with this being triggered, I am definitely watching, even with pullbacks, for a rally tomorrow. Pretty much anywhere right above this 40, right around there. What is that? That is 45.62 area. It will remain in bullish mode tomorrow, but really nice bottoming pattern there. So let's see what else we can watch for. Let me actually flip this around too. We already know where those levels are, but now I'm going to flip it to see for retracements potentially tomorrow. And let me wipe out some of these to the upside. We'll have to redo those to the upside. So for tomorrow, let's see, above this 46, what was that? Oh, sometimes I just can't read my own thing. 46.0975, so 46.10. What will I be watching for above there? Because we could take out that level. This is an advanced clear path move with your next major breakdown level being 46.22. 46.22 is my next target area above there. And above there, I got to go to that 50% level, which is rather close, but it's going to be a strong target, 46.3175. That's the 50% from this sell-off. Okay, and you have just below that, you have the 4-hour rotation zone coming in right above the targets for this double. So really do not ignore these double targets, especially 46.09. That's a great place to take profits off from this double, because that's the last target, and then look to reload on a reaction and a move back down, then rotation back up. Key area you're watching for this rally to really continue is right around this 200-day simple, but right above there you have the 62.5, and you know how much I love that level, because you get a close above that, then we can watch for a possible retest of the highs going into the year. If we come up here, you can even complete the double, still get up to this 50% area and roll over back down, and that would be bearish. Where do we sit though on the daily? It's technically in bearish mode. We got the first cross rotation zone, but keep in mind we're still in this huge consolidation sort of pattern. So I'm not really, I'll be trading bullish patterns and everything, but now if we get back below the trend line and especially lose this area that we put in this key line in the sand from today, then I'm going bearish mode. Then I am full-blown bearish mode. Until then, this is roughly neutral bearish leaning. So you don't get overly bullish, but you can take good bullish setups. I wouldn't say get overly bullish, because if we do get above the rotation zone again, it would technically be in neutral mode, and then you get above this 46 60 area, you know, you can start really watching for moderately bullish mode given the end of the year. But we, again, was got rejected, remember, from this 4,700 level so many times. Now it's softened each time, but it needs to do some work to get up back up there. Let's see what Wavy thinks. I think many people are turning bearish, which may add fuel for an end of year rally. It could. I mean, this was definitely bearish mode today until the end of the day. It got really, it actually got pretty bullish the end of the day from at least the street perspective. So I'm going to be keeping a very close eye on that tomorrow and see how strong, if this is a short-term bottom, to see how strong it can rally, or if it's just going to sort of meander back up. That's going to be the judge. This really momentum move back up will help figure out, you know, if we're going to get some more decent upside, or if it's just going to get a, you know, a low, you know, low liquidity going into Christmas rally up, and then we roll back over. So that's what I'm going to be seeing tomorrow. NASDAQ also double bottom right here, triggering on the last hour, going into this. I'd call this a super advanced clear path, because there's a little stopping area here. So don't ignore this 15,736 area. That's a great, again, that's normally where you move up your stops, and I would not ignore that. And then you have this 15,775, 15,814. And that's right where this prior breakdown area is. So that's prior support becoming resistance, and also the target from the doubles. Let's see who else. Hello, William S. Glad you're here. Hey, Ken, thank you for being here. And we already touched him with Wavy. Alrighty then. So bullish area, I have to roughly do the same thing we did in the S&P, as long as it's staying above this. So you see this support base becoming resistance, now back to support, but also right below just the peak of this double. So about 15,628, 15,629, bullish mode for me going into tomorrow. Look at that also. Look at that 4-hour rotation zone closed just above the 4-hour rotation zone, and look at the targets for that double. Oh man, this could be a great day tomorrow. 15,814. So this could be some fun upside price action tomorrow if this bottom holds. Above that, I'm looking at about this 15,945, then 16,000 again. This would also be a great place if you do have some super bullish day. Great place to use the reverse harmonics. So that gives us, you know, above this, you got 16,000 to about 16,014, then 16,072. So that's a great target, because we could get into this clear path move, but that gives you an area to definitely move up a stop right just beneath this little prior sideways pattern right there. To the downside, it's really got to hold this. See, we made a lower low back from December 3rd lows. It's in bearish mode. So really pay attention. You know, after the double targets hit, really pay attention to this 15,945, 950. That's where the daily rotation zone is in. And if we go back below this 15,495, then 15,384, and then 15,230 to 15,267. Let's take a look at the Dow. The Dow. Remember, if you joined yesterday we had this double top in place that was triggered here. And let me remove this real quick. So you can see here, double top triggered on Friday. We covered this yesterday afternoon in the live streams, and look, it coming down first, second, and I'll show you. I just jumped in front of this third target today. Why'd I jump in front of it? Because we had this little reverse harmonic coming down here to help to fine tune it. We kept closing at the second harmonic, and then we were building this double pattern. So that was close enough. Close that trade out, and let's move on to the next trade. So that's how I looked at that little tip right there. You know, you can, when you have that, and we're right near that daily again, the daily 200 right here, just below that target, you don't want to push it. You know, when you start getting bullish price action down there and you're just a tiny bit away from the final target, don't be ridiculous and try to give back a ton to make a penny. Don't give $1 to make a penny. So that's where you can use, you can fine tune it with intraday price action. What are we watching out for tomorrow? We have this nice little double bottom. This one has not triggered yet. Yeah, Jake says lots of doubles. There are lots of doubles. The Dow has not triggered yet, but that S&P and NASDAQ, we could get some really nice rallying price action tomorrow. And they've both confirmed and triggered. So I mean, those would be my first two plays, and then I turn to the Dow. Dow again right above this 34,990 area, 35,000. We have this advanced clear path coming up here, and look at this target too. You want to talk about some brilliant targets with this? I love some of these levels. Just sorry, I get so excited with this. You see the first target. Look at this little shelf right here. First target, 35,131. Next target coming in with these key lows right there. And the final target, 35,300. Prior support shelf becoming resistance. Beautiful, beautiful setups to the upside. Let's see how this fits in. So this could actually come up by tomorrow and get out of the way of the rotation zone, and then come all the way up here and just peak above the other side of the rotation zone. And look, you can see here on that 4 hour, this support shelf becoming resistance with that top target. Very nice. Above there, I'm going to revise this one a little higher, about 35,480 to 35,500. And then Dow's technically in bearish mode, but again, we're in this still consolidation area. So now if we roll over and take out the 200, I'm full bearish mode on the Dow. But if we get back up and get above the rotation zone, it's technically then back to neutral mode, and I'll stay in neutral with slight bearish until we get above this about 35,585. Then I'll shift to a more bullish stance. Let's clean up some of these levels up here. So to the downside, you're really focusing, let's just, in case this double doesn't pan out, where do I need to make my bullish line? The sand too tomorrow. It's going to be, so about 34,930 area. You start, if we can't get above there and this does not trigger, I'd watch about 34,725. Then I'm just going back to the lows, 34,586 area. And whew, if we get below there, wow. We got to do our harmonics, and I'd be watching this trend line, rising trend line. Let me just move that. Oops, not there. Come on, come on. There we go. I'd be watching this 34,353 area with the rising trend line as the first level support. All right. So I know we had some earnings. Let's take a look at some of this. Look at this with Nike. What I think they beat. I don't. Jake, it's too complex in the live stream. There's rules, and I'll be releasing all of them. Just stick with me. You can roughly get where they are as long as you know the targets and generally what forms it. There's key levels that we'll go over. We can take a look at the Russell. Let me just go through Nike and Micron. So Nike, I don't have their official results in front of me, but they're up back at the 161 area, at the prior thing. But look at this double top, come right down, hitting the final target, and then earnings come out after the close and they've bounced. So that was a really nice play. Wouldn't get overly bullish on Nike, especially if you get upwards to 166 area because you got the rolling over rotation zone, so you can fill these couple gaps and then easily roll over again. But that was Nike with that double. Here's Micron. Micron, I know they beat. We talked about this yesterday, and they're back up above this 86.55. So I'd be watching for that to hold support tomorrow. And then above that, if you can get that to hold support and a rotation back up through the 89.05, 91.97, 94.90, we put those targets on yesterday. And let's just see where, yeah, that's not going to get us anything else. And Jake also says Nike Discord was discussed in the Discord last week. Join the Discord. Yes, excellent advice. There's a lot of things, and I'm not a part. I don't have to be a part of these discussions. People are learning. People are spotting these things. You know, that's the whole point: is to get people who really like true technical analysis to help each other and grow as traders. That's key. Russell, it was down below key areas before, but still hanging on by the hairs of its chinny chin. Wow. I was watching today to see if we're going to get a close below about this 21-27 area. We didn't. Still watch that. We'll take a look at mRNA also. On the Russell, today's high is key. Resistance you get through there, I'd be watching for a return back to about this 2220 area. 2220 is a really strong resistance area. The rotation zone's been holding very well here, so that's my key line in the sand. It would have to easily get above there, and you have the weekly rolling over, so the Russell is definitely the weakest. The Russell is the last thing I will turn to right now. Yep. So above here, though, if it did manage to get all the way back above there, you do have a double. You do have a double. And since we don't look at the Russell every day, really the key areas I'll be watching is the bottom of the daily rotation zone, the top of the daily rotation zone. You get above there, you focus on the peak of this double, you get above there on a closing basis, then you can tackle 23.51.50, 23.87.20, 24.23 to the upside. So, mRNA. Yeah, that I know that it gapped up and reversed again. So this is back below again. The key levels could not sustain anything. And you know, I was watching 326.67, so roughly 327 to get at all in the bullish mode. I did see the gap up and then it started filling the gap. And, you know, it was all over from there. And this is, again, if you want a refresher on the gap plays, do it from the close on the 5-minute bar, and you see you got the first little reaction at the 50, little bounce, then you get a close below the 62.5, and then just target that gap fill. That was a thing of beauty today, by the way. What else do we have? Quick look at Square. SQ Block Inc. Potential double is blown out of the water. Let's see, where do we have? We had a potential buy set up above this close, did not get a close above it. Potential buy set up above there, nothing there, now back down. Square, ooh, this is just very, very weak. But it's getting into divergence territory. Let me update some of these things. I don't normally trade this thing, so it would be good at some point if this can get a bottom put in, but, you know, it's looking like we might get something in this area. Also, remember, this is the key. This is very key. We just had this 50% run up, okay? Take out some of these old levels. This is the 50% area. So we're between the 50 and the 62.5 of this whole run up. So you can start watching for a longer term bottoming pattern in here, and we are getting divergences. So it's waning momentum. All right. So I would be watching this now. If you did get above today's high on a closing daily basis, it's a very aggressive play to the long side coming out of deep oversold condition with a divergence. But really, you got to keep ratcheting up your stops into the daily rotation zone. So keep that in mind. And this is, this is a very tight play. If it closed above there, it would be the stop. Your stop would either have to be below the low of today's low, or let's say tomorrow made a lower low and then reversed and closed higher with an outside bar. It would go to below tomorrow's low if you were taking a super aggressive long entry. All right. And you're seeing a clear path down. Let's see, to 140. We have to still get through. If you get a close below, 153 area, then your next target would be around this 140 area. But you need a close below 153. Okay, Josh. So we don't have a clear path right now because you see this area. Let me zoom in. You see this area right here? That's still a support shelf. So and we're still above that support shelf. So we don't have any clear paths yet. But really focus is, especially if it trades down anywhere in here, I'd be watching for a reversal. So this is a very key area to key off of. Let me see what the most recent harmonic swings gave us too. I might have to do a little more thorough analysis offline on this one because I'm watching for a bottoming pattern right in here. Now it's not like a super long-term play. This is a play that you gotta keep moving up your stops in this rotation zone because it could easily get in the rotation zone and rotate back down for even lower prices. But that would definitely work off this deep oversold condition. And if you look on the weekly, look how oversold it is on the weekly. That's why I'd be really watching for at least a short-term bounce. And even if it got back up to the prior 37.5% harmonic, you have the weekly rotation zone there, and you have this prior support becoming resistance. So, this is not one you're carrying, we're going to make it back to 250, 260 at this point. This is one, if you got to 193, you'd be lucky for that play. How important is a double bottom triggers in Ethereum only, like probably on the ES chart? We can take a quick look at Ethereum. I mean, that's what this is for. I did not look at cryptos at all today. I probably should have. I was too busy doing everything else. There was a lot of stuff going on. There was way too much going on. So there was your double. There's the trigger. Gave this was a pullback entry, a little steep on the pullback entry, but coming up, pausing at that first target. Look at that. That beautiful pause. Then going through the second and third target. So that is over at this point for Ethereum. So that double, it was just a short-term bottoming. You have a lot of buying pressure in here. You can see, look at all the wicks and everything. But Ethereum really has to work its way up, and I need to see it back above about 41.32 area before I'm considering some more bullish price action. Because you also still against the rotation zone has not been able to get above this prior support becoming resistance shelf. So I'm still not really, and we've triggered this bigger term double top. So again, this could easily still rally up, even the 4,400 again, and then roll over, and this double top would still be in place. Is Ethereum going to be okay? It's still got a bearish pattern, and it hasn't been able to get bullish. It hasn't been able to get bullish price action, so I'd still be very cautious in Ethereum. Yeah, Jake, yep, it's still in the trigger daily. That doesn't mean you can't have rallies, but rallies aren't to be super aggressive on. Okay? It is in that big double pattern. And you can see that double here on the weekly basis, and you can see it's just holding the bottom of the weekly rotation zone. But if you start getting a close back below 37, 34 area, I'd be watching for this to easily this we could be back down at 29.62. So don't go crazy unless this, and even if it said, even if you get some rallies, it's not something to go crazy for yet. Well, you're very welcome, Josh. AVAX 2, well, you're in crypto space. Okay. AVAX. I hate looking at against tethers. I have a huge problem with. We're just gonna. I gotta go with Coinbase. Let's see what. I mean, that's from a while ago. Where was that from? I have not looked at this since you asked for it a long time ago. I'm just seeing where that was. Uh, Not being able to get to that next harmonic. That's nice. Holding on that one. This is a nice reversal. This is a nice reversal if you're from the bullish standpoint. I get more aggressive. You start getting close above this 116.10. You get a close above there. Yeah, and then you watch that 120 area, but above that 120 area, then I'd be using these harmonics on rotations back up. That's your bullish case right there. Where your key line in the sand is this black line I put on there, 183. You can just go to roughly 100 or about 101. Go to 101. You get back below 101, you're looking like you'll be back below this rotation zone. This rotation up will have not held. And then I just use these harmonics on the way back down. 93.50 area with this support shelf this prior resistance shelf becoming support. You break below that, I'd probably be just watching for a return to the lows. Uh, let's see. Your channel is very clear even when I speed up the video. Do I talk too slow? Oh, I'm looking. I'm looking at my streaming because I'm monitoring it on another monitor over here, and it's coming through. It's coming through clear. Let me just check my. Yeah, it's coming through clear on everything from my end. Yeah, AVEX looks like it's going to rally. Take a look at Zynga. All right, glad it's fixed. What do I see? What do I see? Let's see. You had said there's a large of nearly 2 million share purchase today at 653. What do you see? I'm just looking. There's there's not a lot of great patterns down here. I mean, it looks like it at least is attempting to put in a low. It's back above, so it's right at neutral mode. I really don't have anything on this. I mean, I'd just be playing off of if you're in bullish mode on this, just see where the weekly sits. I mean, you got a weekly divergence coming off there. You're now holding. I'd pay attention to this though. See how you're right at this high from 670. You start getting above there, at least on a daily closing basis, it could be an aggressive entry. That's really all I'm seeing. Coming out of deep oversold condition with a divergence on the daily, testing that weekly rotation zone and back above the daily, I'd be looking possibly, you'd have an aggressive play, but I'd keep a tight stop with there, and I'd start watching, I'd move up the stops on the harmonics and start watching where you come in about 726 with a convergence with the daily or the weekly rotation zone. That's the only thing I'm seeing, and I would not want it to break back below about $6. 610. 610 would be a key line in the sand. So, is that about it, everyone? Oh, I forgot to take off my Dow tags. See, I forget to take off my tags. I have to have self-disappearing tags. All right. Well, there we go. We've covered a number of markets today. Thank you, Sterling. Thank you for the super chat, and completely agree. Best $10 you'll ever spend. One-time fee for Discord. Boy, Boeing again? Didn't we just look at this yesterday? Still, it's that double's still in place. You get a nice short-term reversal. Here's your if you want a super aggressive, you get a close tomorrow above today's high. It's a super aggressive entry, but my same thing goes in place. Dude, you got to be moving up your stops in this rotation zone area because it could easily rotate back down and become a triple bottom. So your double is still in play. You have an aggressive short-term entry on a closing basis above today's high. But then again, I can't stress this enough. Too many people say you said an aggressive entry. Yeah, and why it's aggressive is because you're against the daily rotation zone. So this could even come up to Friday's high and roll over. So this is where you have to, if you're trying to do these bottoming plays, you don't give it a ton of leeway. And you take stuff off, and then you move up stops. So, hey, great. If it keeps going, you caught a nice bottom. If it rolls back over, you're out of some for a little profit, and you're not letting anything else turn into a loss. So that goes true if I don't specify it every time. When I say something's an aggressive play and you see it against the daily rotation zone, don't just buy it and go, okay, I can just go to sleep. No, this is something you have to manage every day. All right, I don't want to hear that, oh, I lost money because it was an aggressive buy, but I didn't move my stops or I didn't take my profits. Okay, I'm going to hammer that home because too many people get complicit with it. And just think a buy's a buy. When you're against the daily rotation zone, you have to be very aware of that because that's where things tend to rotate back over. With that, I will call it a day. I will see everybody else who wants to join in about 20 minutes in the Tesla live stream. Have another great day trading. Bye for now.